were to ever happen, they have experience, they know those waters. I don't think it's a political statement on their part at all.
The Missouri's greatest asset may be its silence, invisible to satellites, virtually inaudible to other ships and subs, giving the U.S. the element of surprise.
Whether there is a submarine there or not, they don't know. A potential adversary has to take that into their calculus when they make decisions to do bad things.
And so underwater is where these boats and their crews spend 90% of their time deployed.
So the USS Missouri is coming into port now, Mayport Naval Station in Jacksonville, Florida, and that's not something, if you're a submariner, that you do very often. Their most recent deployment, they were out for 181 days, 163 days were at sea. That is the life of a submariner.
And that is a call to action the U.S. Navy's 70 submarines are getting more and more often.
The USS Missouri nuclear submarine is a Virginia-class nuclear-powered submarine, which one official describes as the Swiss Army knife of submarines. The White House condemns the airstrike at a Syrian refugee camp on Thursday that killed at least 28 people. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says most of those killed are women and children. The planes attacked the Kamuna camp in northern Syria near the Turkish border. White House spokesman Josh Earnest has harsh words for those responsible.
There is no justifiable excuse for carrying out an airstrike against innocent civilians who have already once fled their homes to escape violence. These individuals are in the most desperate situation imaginable, and there is no justification for carrying out military action that's targeting them.
Officials say it's not immediately clear whether Syrian or Russian planes conducted the airstrike. The bombing was part of heavy fighting across Syria and happened the day after the U.S. and Russia brokered a ceasefire in the war-torn Syria city of Aleppo. Now, North Korea opens its 7th Workers' Party Congress. It is the biggest political gathering in the regime, which last held in 1980. It is happening at the April 25 House of Culture in central Pyongyang. A source tells CNN about 3,000 delegates are attending. Foreign journalists are invited to cover the Congress, but they are not allowed inside the convention center. Leader Kim Jong-un is expected to declare North Korea as a nuclear weapon state and to formally adopt a policy for economic development and nuclear capability. The sale of weapons is a major revenue generator for North Korea. CNN's Will Ripley reports from the birthplace of Pyongyang's weapons industry.
This is the first time we're being allowed inside the birthplace of North Korea's weapons industry. We're told the founder and president Kim Il-sung test-fired the first locally produced submachine gun 50 meters, more than 160 feet, hitting those 2 targets with a bullseye every time. We're also told his son, then 7 years old, Kim Jong-il, also hit a bullseye. Apparently a very good shot, according to our local guide. The weapons industry is very important for North Korea. It's a main revenue generator for this country. They sell guns, rockets, missiles, and are currently developing nuclear technology that many intelligence analysts believe would also be for sale potentially to other countries or even groups designated as terrorist organizations by the United States. Is a major concern for the international community. This particular site is significant because it was here last December that the Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un chose to make the announcement that North Korea was in possession of an H-bomb, a weapon that he says was tested in January, just days before his birthday. And while we still don't know the exact age of the Supreme Leader, we do know that inside this building in Pyongyang, he's about to become even more powerful. The Supreme Leader expected to unveil a new lineup of party leadership after a period of rumored purges referred to by state media as evil forces. There is now a new power structure giving the young Kim Jong-un, the Supreme Leader, the team that he feels he needs to move the country forward in a direction that includes growing its nuclear program and its economy simultaneously. The state media calling him a great son of the 21st century, calling on all North Koreans to honor and serve him. All of it happening right here in Pyongyang, a historic meeting 36 years in the making. Will Ripley, CNN, Pyongyang.
In Canada, a massive wildfire is still raging in the city of Fort McMurray in Alberta province. Residents of the entire city have fled as the blaze spreads to an area 10 times the size of Manhattan. More than 1,600 structures are burnt down as evacuees continue fleeing north. Some 4,000 people were airlifted to other cities, and officials say displaced residents would not be able to return home anytime soon. Frustration is growing among those still stranded at oil camps. Meanwhile, volunteers from other cities gather and prepare hygiene kits for the evacuees. Big news for gamers. The Video Game Hall of Fame welcomes 6 classic games. And Mars is moving closer to our planet. When will this be? We'll give you more details when we return. Stay here with CNN Philippines.
Kaya mo na. Ang Red Horse Beer. Lakas ng tama pero di wasak. Number 1 beer. Yan ang sarap ng Red Horse Beer. Red Horse Extra Strong. The number 1 beer.
And if I cannot end corruption, drugs,
ease the traffic at least within a year.
Cutting taxes should either be lowered or raised.
We have started. Now the solution is on its way.
Ginebra San Miguel, in partnership with Madrid Fusion Manila, celebrated the Filipino food heritage by showcasing handcrafted mixes made with Ginebra San Miguel Premium Gin.
Madrid Fusion is probably the biggest food or gastronomy event in the whole world. When we were choosing the products, we wanted to choose the best. We actually saw the Ginebra Premium Gin bar in the art fair. We tasted it and we thought it was world-class. As Filipinos, we want to show that we have good premium gin and it's locally made. We encourage everybody, because this is going to be a yearly event, please support all the local products, support your local ingredients, because we do have quality products. Thank you.
You're watching Global Newsroom. Canada's biggest bank is releasing names of clients involved in the Panama Papers. This after the Canada Revenue Agency sought a court order against the Royal Bank of Canada. The tax agency wants the bank to disclose the files linked to Panama Papers. The bank is not challenging the order. The CRA has initiated 40 audits related to the law firm Mossack Fonseca prior to the Panama Papers release. The Panama Papers is dubbed as the biggest data leak in modern journalism. The documents contain specific references to secret offshore companies and accounts, in some cases linked to top world leaders and other prominent, powerful people. The Royal Bank of Canada is one of the banks mentioned. Medical errors may now be the third leading cause of death in the U.S. Researchers at Johns Hopkins University estimates 251,000 deaths a year are the result of medical mistakes. They're now calling for better reporting nationwide in order to understand the scale of the problem. Researchers say deaths caused by medical errors are not currently tracked. The study's author hopes their analysis leads to healthcare reforms and better patient safety measures. In the U.S., an Alabama teenager is recovering from injuries to his face and neck after an e-cigarette explodes. Reporter Stephen McClam speaks to the injured student about what happened.
Easton Brugert is recovering from being struck by a hot battery from an e-cigarette machine. The sophomore says he was in class when a classmate showed him batteries that had gotten hot in his jacket from being mixed with change. He then continued his schoolwork.
All I heard and seen him do is bring the vape up towards his face, and then
He clicked that button and then it shot off like a rocket.
The burning battery then struck Brugert in the face. Easton says his classmate then began stomping on the battery to put it out.
And the first thing he told me was to tell him it was a portable charger because he didn't want to get in trouble.
With burn, Brugert says he went to the school nurse. Meanwhile, his classmate told him the battery had burned a hole in his designer jacket.
And he was like, now I'm going to need a new jacket. And I told him, I said, you better shut up before I punch you in the face.
Brugert says the wounds are now painful, but his mom feels e-cigarettes are a problem in the schools.
I mean, there's tons of kids that do. He doesn't even have to tell me. It's everywhere.
The school superintendent says he is considering tougher policies on e-cigarettes for the next school year. As of now, a student be suspended for having the device. Attention new parents, a growing list of studies show you might need to reconsider your newborn's diet. Andy Rose has the details in today's Health Minute.
Rice cereal is a go-to food for parents looking to introduce their little ones to solids. Rice cakes are also considered a great healthy snack alternative, but a growing list of studies is raising new concerns. According to the FDA, brown and white rice contain the highest level of inorganic arsenic of any food. Arsenic is a natural element found in soil, water, and the air. Because rice is grown in water, it's especially good at absorbing it. Inorganic arsenic has been linked to immune system and neurodevelopmental problems in children. So, should you make changes to your little one's diet? The American Academy of Pediatrics advises parents a variety of foods, including oats, wheat, and quinoa. For today's Health Minute, I'm Andy Rose.
A California family says they were removed from their flight out of Provo, Utah, after telling a flight attendant that their son has a peanut allergy. Lauren Steinbrecher reports.
Passengers board an Allegiant plane in Provo. A California couple, part of a group like this on Monday, says as they stepped through the door, they told the flight attendant,
"My son has a peanut allergy. Is there anything you can do? Like, can you not serve peanuts around us? Or is there anything you can do to help accommodate for that?"
Kyson Dana tells a story on Skype from his Bay Area home. He says the flight attendant immediately told Kyson and his wife Sarah that she didn't recommend they fly on the plane.
My wife said, "Well, we obviously are flying on the plane and we recognize the risks. We have an EpiPen with us."
He says they went to their seats, wiped them down to sanitize against any traces of nuts. A second flight attendant, he says, asked passengers around them to avoid eating peanuts.
And it seemed like the situation was resolved.
But a few minutes later, he says,
The third flight attendant comes up to us and says, "Hey, we've spoken with the captain or the pilot, and we are going to have you be removed from the plane."
Dana says the flight attendants told them they consulted with a medical professional and decided it wasn't safe to let them fly. They got off the plane, missed their flight home, and wondered why the airline took such serious measures.
I think they were being unreasonable.
Dr. Kay Walker, a board-certified allergist, says she was also surprised to hear the airline took such a huge step. She says it's safe to fly with a peanut allergy as long as the passenger alerts the airline, wipes the seat area down with sanitation wipes, and doesn't eat airline food. The Dana family says they complained and Allegiant sent this response. On behalf of the entire Allegiant team, please allow me to offer my sincere apology for the inconveniences this incident has caused you and your family. We regret that you were denied boarding due to any misunderstanding regarding the severity of your child's peanut allergy.
The family did eventually make it home. A worker at the Provo airport booked them on a new flight with a different city, then personally drove them to the Salt Lake for their new flight. Now, 6 classic video games are going into the Video Game Hall of Fame. The Strong National Museum of Play announced this year's inductees. They include Grand Theft Auto 3, Oregon Trail, and The Sims. They beat out 9 other finalists for a spot. John Paul Dyson, a director at the museum, says these games are iconic.
Each of these games model for other games what sort of plays are possible. So a game like the Oregon Trail unleashed a whole world of educational games. Space Invaders launched the arcade craze. Games like The Sims said, hey, here are these great simulations we can do of all sorts of things. So each of these games had a key impact on society and gaming.
And And in case your favorite game didn't make it this time around, the museum is already taking nominations for next year. We will be getting a pretty close look at Mars by the end of this month. NASA says the red planet will soon be closer to Earth than it's been in 11 years. On May 30th, Mars will be about 47 million miles from our planet. It sounds like a long way away, but consider that Mars can be up to 200 million miles from Earth. What does this mean to stargazers? NASA says it means that the red planet will appear bigger and brighter from May 18th to June 3rd. And if you miss this year's close encounter, the two planets will get a little bit closer in 2018. That's when Earth and Mars will be about 36 million miles apart. NASA astronaut Tim Kopra shared his colorful view of the world with his Twitter followers Wednesday night. He posted this photo, which is a clear view of the aurora borealis as seen from the space station. The northern lights are the result of electrons colliding with the upper reaches of the Earth's atmosphere. An inspiring story up ahead. A Captain America-inspired prosthetic arm is created in Michigan for a young boy. We'll give you more details. You're watching Global Newsroom on CNN Philippines.
Anak ka ba ng rock and roll? Sali na sa Red Horse Pambansang Musik Laban.
Welcome back. In the race for the White House, some Republican lawmakers and leaders are not supporting Donald Trump as the party's presidential candidate. Others say they'll vote for the real estate mogul, but issues with him. Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan says at this point he doesn't support Trump.
I'm just not ready to do that at this point. I'm not there right now, and I hope to, though, and I want to. But I think what is required is that we unify this party. And I think the bulk of the burden on unifying the party will have to come from our presumptive nominee.
The House Speaker also calls on Trump to run a campaign that Americans can be proud to support. Ryan is the highest-ranking Republican lawmaker to reject Trump. Meantime, Democratic candidates Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are focusing on taking down Trump. The two says they are making sure the presumptive GOP nominee doesn't win the presidency. Now, who will be Donald Trump's running mate? As Jeannie Moose reports, comedians are cracking wise on the search.
It's time to name that Veep.
Gingrich is a really interesting wild card.
I think Christie's the favorite. Governor Martinez of New Mexico.
Ben Carson.
What? Or could a guy who's been
Little Marco
grow up to be Vice President Rubio?
It could happen.
Trump Veep Stakes mania has hit.
He should run as the first father-daughter ticket and have his girl Ivanka run with him as a VP.
Prepare for VP Survivor.
On Vice President Island, 20 amazing Trump supporters in a battle for the ultimate prize.
Even the current VP joked about it.
Well, I'm anticipating he'll ask me to be vice president.
The Donald seems to drop hints.
Somebody maybe that's been even a senator.
Former Senator Scott Brown spent an hour and a half with the Donald last month. Some would-be running mates seem to be running away.
I'm going to pass. I like my job.
When the New York Times asked a Jeb Bush advisor about Jeb being VP, this was the written response. And John Kasich passed the buck to his interviewer.
There is zero chance. Aaron, there's more chance of you being Donald Trump's vice president than me.
But Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin gushed, "I would be very honored if I were to receive a call saying, I need you to help make America great again." And Chris Christie didn't say no.
I decide in my heart what I want to do.
But what's the Donald want?
Someone who compliments me.
Oh, you mean someone who has a different skill set than you?
No, I mean someone who literally compliments me. Like Donald, you're great.
Get out the popcorn.
Who will advance and who will be kicked off the island?
Gary, you're impeached.
Vice President Island. This summer on every cable news channel.
And every late-night comedy show. Ginny Mo, CNN.
He said he wants a qualified running mate. When asked why, Trump said opposites attract.
New York.
In other news, Caitlyn Jenner is reportedly posing nude on the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine. U.S. Weekly says the cover honors the 40th anniversary of Jenner's 1976 Summer Olympics decathlon gold medal. The magazine says the former track and field superstar is wearing nothing but an American flag and her Olympic medal. It is the first time the 66-year-old poses with the medal since completing her gender transition in 2015. Jenner sets a new world record in the decathlon during the 1976 Summer Games in Montreal, scoring more than 8,600 points. The President and the First Lady celebrated Star Wars Day with a dance party. The White House tweeted this video of President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama dancing with Star Wars stormtroopers and the beloved robot R2-D2, while Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson's song Uptown Funk played in the background. This is not the first time the first couple has enjoyed something related to Star Wars. Back in December, the White House hosted a special screening of The Force Awakens for Gold Star families. Those are families who've lost loved ones to combat or service-related injuries. Now, a fast food chain in Hong Kong is releasing an edible nail polish. The nail polish comes in 2 flavors and colors: original, which is kind of beige color, and hot and spicy, which is red. To use it, customers can paint the polish on their nails, let it dry, and lick away. The fast food chain says the polish is sourced from natural ingredients. The company is asking customers to pick their favorite color to go into mass production. A 6-year-old boy in Michigan got one amazing gift: a brand new Captain America-inspired prosthetic arm. It was all thanks to the help of a Michigan man and his 3D printer. Andy Sosnowski created the arm for less than $50, whereas prosthetic limbs can cost thousands of dollars. Braden Armstrong says he loves his new gift. His mother also says she is grateful Sosnowski was able to help them.
I got a hold of all the materials that I needed to do it through enablingthefuture.org. They have all the instructions and materials needed at their website.
I'm so thankful and so grateful for just the generosity. You know, it just seems like it's an answered prayer. It honestly is.
Braden's mother says her son was born without his left arm. He hasn't used a prosthetic limb since he was a baby. And if you haven't seen Captain America Civil War yet, well, David Daniel tells you why you shouldn't miss it.
Captain, you seem a little defensive. Well, it's been a long day.
The Avengers are a house of heroes divided in Captain America Civil War. For Steve Rogers, played once again by Chris Evans, it's a different kind of battle.
We're not fighting Nazis. We're not fighting aliens. We're fighting family members. And this is where it becomes tricky to understand what's right and what's wrong. And this is the first film where I think instead of doing what other people need, Steve is doing what he wants.
Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth.
Co-stars say Robert Downey Jr. is still working hard after a half-dozen Marvel movies.
It's incredible, actually, watching Downey, and that he's so far into this experience for himself in his life that he still is invested in it and in doing good work. And I think that absolutely rubs off.
He definitely sets the tone when he comes on screen.
Whether they're Team Cap or Team Iron Man, the other Avengers say they're just happy to be along for the ride.
I feel like people like it, that's a great blessing.
Yeah.
Right? It's lovely.
I mean, I loved watching these before ever being a part of them, and they're just getting bigger and more interesting.
Stay down. Final warning. I could do this all day.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The top stories today: China says it is still open to holding dialogues with the Philippines as it begins combat drills in the disputed South China Sea. North Korea holds its 7th Workers' Party Congress. The last was held 36 years ago. And in Canada, the wildfires in Alberta continue to spread as thousands of people are airlifted to other cities. And that is Global Newsroom this Friday, May 6th. I'm Claire Saldran. Join us back here on Monday for our election coverage starting at 4 a.m. Have a great weekend.
This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
This week on Hollywood Express, Captain America Civil War prepares to crush its competition. We take an inside look at Julia Roberts' latest romantic comedy, and a legendary filmmaker gets a traditional Hollywood honor.
I saw her. I saw her from the train.
Here's your first look at The Girl on the Train, based on one of the best-selling novels of 2015. Emily Blunt stars in the psychological thriller as a divorced woman with a drinking problem who finds herself enmeshed in a murder mystery. The film is due in theaters in October.
Can you tell me where you were Friday night? I was in the city, and then I went to visit my husband.
You mean your ex-husband? It's my understanding that the woman who has gone missing was his nanny.
Rachel, I need you to stay away.
So what did you do during those hours that night?
I don't remember. There's some time missing. What happened that night in the tunnel? Tell me the truth.
What makes Albus Dumbledore so fond of you, Mr. Scamander?
Harry Potter fans are already anticipating Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, J.K. Rowling's return to the world of wizards, which opens November 18th. Now they can circle November 19th on their calendars as well. Pottermore, Rowling's website, says her screenplay will hit bookstores and the web the day after the movie hits theaters. It'll be the first time Rowling has published a screenplay.
The safe thing to do is track a new course back up online.
More hardware for The Revenant. The triple Oscar-winning film starring Leonardo DiCaprio has taken a top prize at the Location Managers Guild International Awards. The epic adventure, which was shot in Canada and Patagonia, won for outstanding locations in a period film. Sicario, filmed along the U.S.-Mexico border, won for outstanding locations in a contemporary film. If you're not familiar with the Location Managers Awards, don't worry. This is just the third year they've been presented. Dwayne Johnson is covering all the bases. He's already set to star in Baywatch, based on the TV series, and Rampage, based on the video game. Now he's announced he'll star in Jumanji, a remake of the 90s family film starring Robin Williams about a jungle-themed board game that comes to life. And if you just want to see Johnson in another action comedy, he returns to the big screen opposite Kevin Hart in Central Intelligence, June 17th.
If you can't learn to run with the pack, one of these days you'll be someone's dinner.
Disney has revealed a slate of familiar-looking films. It's officially announced a sequel to The Jungle Book, with Jon Favreau returning as director, as well as a follow-up to Maleficent, with Angelina Jolie taking another turn in the title role. And Emma Stone is set to star in a 101 Dalmatians spin-off, Cruella.
I didn't write a letter to get it.
Some familiar faces are headed to Cannes. Veteran actor Donald Sutherland and actress Kirsten Dunst have been named to the Cannes Film Festival jury. Laszlo Nemes, winner of the Best Foreign Language Feature Oscar for Son of Saul, is also on the panel. Mad Max director George Miller will preside over the jury, which will screen the films in competition and choose the prize winners. The festival begins May 11th.
Gin and tonic, please.
something worth doing is worth doing again.
I know what I can do. I know what other people could do better.
What would you say is your biggest achievement? What is the first thing that runs? What kind of a president would you be?
And if I cannot end corruption, drugs...
Ease the traffic at least within a year.
Cutting taxes should either be lowered or raised.
We have started. Now the solution is on its way.
Hinihinga ko na yung paglilingkod sa bayan.
Na dalhin sa bawat silid-aralan ang aral ng mga dakilang Pilipino.
Para marinig kung ano yung kwento nila.
Because I want to touch more lives with my thoughts and feelings.
Na yung lahat ng gagawin ko, dapat meron akong ine-empower.
Hanggat nararamdaman ko siya, pagkapatuloy ko to.
Military aircraft. This is Chinese Navy. You are approaching our military alert zone.
China cannot use historical claims. The 9 dust lines are void.
Crucial moment in the nation's fight for its rights in the disputed West Philippine Sea.
Chinese are not participating officially. The entire world will tell China it is wrong. It will have to pay.
China's maritime claims based on its version of history. Reclamation began August 2014. The Philippine case stands on international maritime law.
We raise sovereignty. We want China to sign behavior at sea.
This is what the Philippines is fighting for.
Haharapin ko ang problema.
We should avoid armed confrontation.
Kausapin natin ang China constructively.
When working with the international community,
Let us stand for sovereign rights.
I'm Erin Burnett. Let's go out front. You're looking at live pictures out of West Des Moines, Iowa. As a lifelong birth defect, what can you tell us? This is the first time Donald Trump has publicly come out and addressed this issue himself.
We want a leader. We want someone who's going to fix this.
A legendary film director received an honor set in stone in Hollywood. We caught up with him on the red carpet.
Thanks for this opportunity to be at the legendary Grauman's Chinese Theater. We still call it that.
Director Francis Ford Coppola received one of Hollywood's oldest and highest honors when he placed his hands and feet in cement at the TCL Chinese Theater, as it's currently known. Coppola is the second director to receive the honor this year, after Quentin Tarantino in January. The Academy Award-winning director found the event an honor.
Well, I loved the Chinese theater as a kid. I always thought that was a kind of temple of the cinema, and saw the people whose names were memorialized and footprints, and you know, I was of an age that I could appreciate the great Hollywood legend, and of course now I'm sort of part of it, which is amusing.
The 77-year-old filmmaker has not slowed down.
I'm working on a long, ambitious screenplay that I have, again, when I make it, it will be experimenting with the form, because the form has changed. Now the cinema has become electronic, digital, and all the movie theaters are ready to be hooked up to a digital feed, and so that implies many, many, many things that I would like to learn about.
If there's a holiday coming up, there's bound to be a movie about it. Here's your inside look.
Hello, Atlanta. Happy Mother's Day. You know no junk food for breakfast. Dad lets us. He also lets you go to school without any underwear.
It's called free balling, Mom.
Mother's Day is the latest Gary Marshall rom-com following the lives of ordinary people grappling with family issues.
I do feel that's what it's about. It's really about magic, but I try to make it within and have each actor really portray something in a way that is more interesting and more exciting.
The high-profile cast includes Kate Hudson as Jessie, who never sees her mom.
I have to say, Jess,
you haven't aged that much.
Thank you.
Britt Robertson as Kristen, who never met her mom.
I was adopted. I've always wondered, did she just throw me away?
What you have to do, you have to find your mother.
She's just trying to find her way in life, and she's had a kind of difficult childhood trying to figure out who she is and what it means to be a mom.
Julia Roberts as Miranda, who's replaced motherhood with work.
Career keeps me busy. Who should I make it out to?
Jennifer Aniston as Sandy, a newly divorced mother.
What do you want us to call her? Do you want us to call her Mom, too?
No, absolutely not.
And Shay Mitchell as Tina, the young new wife of Sandy's ex.
Hi, Sandy. Bye, Mom. Tweet at me if you want to check in or anything, or check my Instagram. I'll post some photos when I get some cute ones.
I play stepmom, younger, all that, but she really does love the kids in Henry, and it's just nice to be able to play that.
Of course, there's lots of humor and love. It's a Gary Marshall film.
No matter what's happened between us, you're always my mother.
Here, take the controls for a second.
More like set the video game controller aside for a sec. The stars of the Ratchet & Clank game series have gone Hollywood.
Our galaxy is in a state of crisis.
Captain Quark.
The Galactic Rangers are looking for a new recruit.
The movie's plot should be familiar to fans of the games, as should James Arnold Taylor as Ratchet.
Actually, I'm a Lombax. What is a Lombax? You know, he's this kind of cat-like character, and there's only one Lombax, and that's the way I like to keep it. He's a quirky, fun little character that wants to do the right thing and save the galaxy.
While you may not know him by name, you've likely heard Taylor's voice before.
I'm the voice of Fred Flintstone, yabba dabba doo. Obi-Wan Kenobi in all the Star Wars Clone Wars cartoons.
Johnny Test, who's 11 years old and totally awesome.
Bella Thorne voices Cora, a member of the Galactic Rangers.
She is a badass female chick. She knows what she's doing at all times. She's kind of a shoot first, ask questions later, which isn't the best thing to be, but it works in her case, and she always pushes Ratchet around because she believes he's not there for the right reasons.
Glad you're getting in touch with your feelings, newbie.
The coolest thing about Ratchet & Clank is that it's a buddy film. It's a action film. It's a popcorn film. It's a lot of fun, but you end up feeling good afterwards.
Cue montage!
This actress says outrageous things online and is loved for it. You can guess what comes next.
To your right, please. Yeah.
Anna Kendrick has earned almost as many fans with her self-deprecating humor and her wit on Twitter as she has with her movies. Now the Pitch Perfect star is coming out with a book of humorous essays and anecdotes from her life. The book is due out in November, and she revealed the title on Twitter to her 5.4 million followers.
I'm really excited to officially announce my book. It's called Scrappy Little Nobody, because I'm the type of person who didn't put on pants to make this video. Don't tell anybody.
Sure, this superhero is strong, but strong enough to hold the Avengers together? Time for new releases.
I'm sorry, Tony. If I see a situation pointed south, I can't ignore it. Sometimes I wish I could. Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth.
Are you with Cap or Iron Man? The Marvel heroes are divided in Captain America: Civil War.
This job, we try to save as many people as we can. Sometimes that doesn't mean everybody. But you don't give up. New York. Washington, D.C. Sokovia. Okay, that's enough. Captain, people are afraid. That's why I'm here. We need to be put in check. I know we're not perfect. But the safest hands are still our own. They're coming for you.
I'm not the one that needs to watch their back.
This doesn't have to end in a fight, Tony. You just started a war. Stay down. Final warning. I could do this all day. On the roof!
Hey, everyone.
I hate that sound.
Hello?
I found you.
Opening in limited release, A Bigger Splash, about a rock star whose vacation and life are interrupted by an old friend's arrival.
I'm sorry we didn't call, but we're hiding out.
Not for me. Meet Marianne and Paul.
Oh, I should have known you'd bring a protege.
I'm his daughter.
It looks on your face.
You asked them to stay. What is that?
When did we last do this? How many years ago?
You're pretty domesticated for a rock star.
Have I done anything to upset you?
Want some?
No, I don't smoke.
That doesn't mean you don't want some.
We were friends. Better than brothers. We fighting.
Just stop talking. The world is not ready for your honesty.
What's the point of Paul in your life anymore?
I love you. You're insane.
Everyone's obscene. That's the whole point.
She's the woman of the century. Now look what I've done.
There's only one way to settle this.
Ang sarap na totoo, hindi natatalo.
Table's yours.
And this is yours.
Ending contractualization. So far, is it only Miriam Santiago who's advocating for this?
No, in fact, all of the candidates, the presidential candidates, have already expressed their views and their perspective on the issue on contractualization. And these candidates are, of course, we laud the candidates for expressing their perspective early as on. So, but we don't have a preferred candidate as of now. What we do is set a criteria if according to if the candidate can address contractualization, if the candidate can address wages, if the candidate can address the quality of employment that we have, I think that is what the TUCP, or the Trade Union Congress of the Philippines, would support.
In a world of 7 billion people, there are countless wars, disasters, political turmoil, controversies, and stories of hope and success. But how do they impact the lives of Filipinos? I'm Mai Rodriguez. Join me as we explore the conversations that matter.
Paano bumoto sa May 9, 2016 national and local elections? Una, alamin ang inyong voting center at polling precinct sa voters list o sa www.comelec.gov.ph. Pangalawa, pumila sa holding area ng inyong presinto. Lumapit sa Board of Election Inspector at sabihin ang inyong pangalan at presinto. Pangatlo, hingin ang balota, folder, marker at bumoto sa voting area. Pang-apat, ipasok ang balota sa vote counting machine o VCM. Panglima,